Mum's fried chicken, Sunday roast chicken and mayo sandwiches, or just fried chicken on the go. As South Africans, we love our chicken. We love it so much that we can't keep up with demand. We produce 30% less than we need. So shouldn't that be an opportunity to open up the industry, especially for black farmers, to satisfy appetites, make money and grow the economy? That's not the way it works, it seems. We import the deficit with tariffs on the source countries, and debate is raging about whether those imports are slaughtering emerging farmers, the industry at large, and whether calls for tariff increases will only protect the big players and leave the others in the dust. On Madam Speaker, we ask, do tariff increases aid or arrest the local poultry industry? On our panel, Unathi Spears, who's chairperson of the Emerging Black Importers and Exporters of South Africa, Dr. Ziyanda Majokweni Kwalela from the South African Poultry Association, and they are joined by Eustace Mashimbie from Proudly South Africa, Lionel Ardendorf from lobby group Fair Play, and Clive Tijere, an independent small farmer from Louis Trichardt in Limpopo. So to all of my guests, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate your time. Let's lift the pot lid on this one. And let's start, perhaps, if we can, with you, Unathi. In 2 months' time, the International Trade Administration Commission of South Africa will decide on whether to impose a tariff on poultry imports. And we've been told it's a choice between exposing the local poultry producers to cheap imports they cannot compete with, or impossibly raising consumer prices for poultry. I'm told you disagree with this. Why?
I think, firstly, to put everyone in the same page, we import not because we want to, but we have the opportunity. We're black businesses. There's 105 of these black entrepreneurs. We've seen the market gap. We've got 30% deficit in the market that makes us establish ourselves, employ people, and feed the nation. We do not deliver a cheaper product, but we deliver a high-quality product. We service our customer, which is a high-end retail market, and we ensure that there is sustainable source of protein to South Africa. So there's nothing that we're doing that we shouldn't be doing. We've got trade agreements with the EU, Iman, and those trade agreements are signed years ahead. All we're doing is implementing it, and we're one of the first black entrepreneurs that are doing this. And therefore, we pride ourselves in our business. And therefore, when someone says that what you're doing is wrong or right, some of our members, including myself, so we are poultry farmers. Before we became importers, we were farming, and we saw the opportunity. And we're not the only ones in the market. We do have other people that have been in it for 30 years, 20 years. The gap is wide, the opportunity is there, and we're taking in it. And what is key?
Okay, well, I want to come directly to the issue of the tariff system. You've painted a landscape and the backdrop for the industry as a whole. But what is your argument for tariffs? And now we look like we're heading on the path of increased tariffs. Why is that okay with you?
The industry feels that the production locally would be better improved if we make chicken more expensive. And we're saying, why should a consumer pay to repair a structural imbalance? What is the major problem within the industry? Chicken and agriculture is a low entrance sector. You need land, you need water, you need maize. And all you do is to feed those chickens until 6 weeks later you resell them to the market. But if you increase the tariff, what you do, you just make it expensive.
All right, Ziyanda, you think Unathi's wrong?
I think she's totally wrong. First of all, the industry does not think that making chicken more expensive is good for the South African public, or that it is what the industry wants to do. What it is about, though, is that at the basis of this is, one, South Africa needs to have the competence to produce poultry locally. Secondly, the poultry industry, just the broilers, they give about 50,000 jobs. Now, if we were to take I think last year the figures in terms of consumption, what's imported is about 25% of consumption. Now, if we were to halve that and give that to new market entrants, imagine what that would do to redress our past issues, where structurally parts of our population were unable to get into the
All right,
industry.
but there's a pushback from Unathi on that, who says that, in fact, the reason you're lobbying for this is to protect the bigger players and, in fact, the monopolistic players in the industry.
No, it's
we'll
not.
just make the arguments. I'll get Ziyanda to rebut that.
RCL Group made $1.4 billion that is their annual declared income that they made. How much of that can any black farmer participate in? There's 4 major players. There are 4 of those members of SAPA that Dr. Ziyanda represents here today. How many of them are black? None. We play in a market where they are so integrated into the system. You buy the chickens from them, the chicks, you buy the feed from them, and the chances of you reselling in the market is so minimal. But if you did it on your own, we've tried it, you will suffocate. 90% of the cost, Iman, is feed. And before you do anything, when you go to KFC, you go to Nando's, you go to a retailer, the shelves are full. You've never gone to a shelf and you find in your middle aisle that it's empty. It's nicely allocated to the groups that are retailing. So it is a tough market to play into. The monopoly is there. Sugar industry had a similar problem where you protect it and now it's going down. We've raised the tariff. They've complained. They've received what they wanted.
But a quick one from you on this?
All right. I think the first thing to say is, when you're a black importer, I would actually like to hear how many jobs we create for South Africa. That's the first thing. Secondly, how many of those importers are actually capacitated to perform well within that particular industry. Coming to what Unatu was saying in terms of barriers to entry to the market, yes, definitely there are barriers to entry to the market, but however, we have very good stories to tell around contract growers that have come in and grown. There's opportunities within the entire value chain. Right now, we're working with the DTI as well as the industry to develop a poultry master plan that is going to give us an overview over the next 20, 30 years, such that we are able to ensure that the market grows. Yes, you keep your competence, but you also have new entrants to the market.
All right, take a break on that point. This is Madam Speaker, and we're back soon.